Hey everyone, it's Russell. Thanks for tuning in. Let's dig right into it. So today we're going to be talking about three really important topics for business owners and leaders, anybody really looking to be or already in a leadership sort of role. The three topics we're going to discuss are extreme ownership, so owning everything within your world. That's number one. Number two is decentralized command, right? Building a structure within a team or a business that doesn't require a bottleneck or doesn't have a bottleneck anywhere within those processes, and people throughout the organization can make decisions without with power to be able to do that. The third and final is to ensure that you always win. And there's three really key things that you can do there, and we'll get more into this video. We're gonna talk about a concept from a really awesome book called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Wilkins. If you haven't read that book or heard of him, you should take a look at it. It's something that's really a fantastic book, and it's something great for leaders. But the concept in that book is extreme ownership. You have to own everything. The simplicity of it is the kind of the beauty, right? So we understand as managers that you can't control, managers or leaders or business owners, you can't control everything. But if you go into leadership with the concept of understanding that everything good or bad that happens to you is within your purview of control, and you have to own everything, right? So the idea of extreme ownership is really simple, is that when good things happen, it's because you gave good leadership. You gave the right tools, you gave the right oversight, you gave the right direction for your team to execute something, and the reason for the success is yours. Now, of course, is there credit due to other people? Yes, 100%. When things go bad, it usually tends to be the direction. It tends to be the oversight, the lack thereof, in other words. But is it always your fault when mistakes happen? Of course not, right? But if you own those mistakes, if you own all the success, and you understand that extreme ownership is something that everything that goes on around you is something that you should control and you don't go to blame, it's really a concept that will change your entire outlook in terms of management and running a business. So I think one of the biggest things as business owners and managers is that people tend to want to blame or want to think, hey, I put in all these hours, I put in 80 hours this week and it didn't work, and it's because of this person or this situation. And most of the time, that's simply just untrue. You have to own your world. The next topic, we're gonna talk about decentralized command. So the idea of decentralized command for a leader or a business owner is, to be honest with you, it's so obvious, it's so logical, but I know, at least in my case, it's not necessarily the first thing you think of, right? When you think of, I previously talked about, extreme ownership and owning everything in your world. But there's a dichotomy to that. The dichotomy to that is, like, there has to be a decentralized command. You as a business owner or as a leader cannot be the bottleneck for decisions, right? So there's always the concept of keep it stupid simple, right? Give the direction, let them go and run with it, and that's fantastic, and that's all there. But you have to give authority to those that work with you, either colleagues or underneath you as subordinates. You have to give them authority to make decisions, good or bad, and to be able to act and have a little leap of faith that they're going to do what's required, right? So the decentralized concept is super important for scalability. So if you're a business right now and you have, or a team leader, and you have 10 people that you manage, or you have a business that's doing $500,000 a year in revenue, and you want to scale your business, one of the biggest things that we see working with customers and doing consulting myself is customers can't scale because they're the bottleneck. They're the point of decision, or leaders, they can't manage more people successfully because they're the only point of decision. So try to look at your structure within your team and figure out where you can safely put checks and balances into place to build a system and a business or a team with decentralized command, and that will be the key to your success in terms of scaling. Next, so we're going to talk about ensuring your success. Comment like that does not always resonate well with people, but there is a way to ensure your success. There's a few different things that you can do as a leader, as a business owner, to ensure that you have constant and always success. And some of that really comes down to indecision. What I see as a business owner and as a consultant when I work with customers, very often I see that decisions are overthought and people hesitate and they want to plan to their death and they're not really taking action. So one of the biggest things that you'll learn as your business gets bigger or your team gets bigger or as you become more successful is that in a lot of situations, some action, any decision is better than indecision, right? So take an action. If it's the wrong one, you can adjust later. But a lot of times when you don't make a decision now, when you don't act now, when the opportunity presents itself, regardless of whether it's the right or wrong decision, that door tends to close very, very quickly. So that's just one little piece of ensuring you're always successful. Take action, fix problems later. Yeah. Another big one is that especially on the managerial side, and as well as business owners, because sometimes you have to report to a board of directors like we do here, is you need to be able to lead up and down the chain of command, right? So sometimes people think that when they're in a leadership position, they are just in control of the people underneath them, and that's the only power that they have. Really, really good leaders will eventually figure out, if you haven't already, is that it also requires you to manage and lead up the chain of command. So there are times when your boss will tell you something, or your board will tell you something, and you can hear it and you should accept their criticism or their knowledge or their input, but then at some point in certain situations you need to say, sorry, that's just not correct. We need to go this direction and do that. Or I hear you, but here's what we need to do and why, right? And so it's very important for leaders to lead up and down the chain of command. The last little bit within this whole idea of like ensuring that you always win is discipline. One of the biggest things that for me, people say money buys freedom. Okay, I understand the concept behind that, but in my opinion, discipline buys freedom. If you're organized, if you're very disciplined, if you're in a structure, if you become a robot on paper and you are very efficient, you buy time, you buy yourself. The same decisions are going to be made, and as long as you're getting the outputs that you want, you continue making those same decisions and the same process to make those decisions. So working in a very organized and disciplined manner will equal freedom for you. By doing all of these three things, you can make sure that you always win. Now, of course, these three things are not the only thing that are going to guarantee your success, but this is a good start. If you're a new leader, if you're a business owner that's hit a plateau and you're looking for something that can give you a little bit of an edge, maybe these things can help you. Okay, so we went over 3 topics today, and I want to just go ahead and compress this information for you so you have some takeaways, something really easy to just bullet out. The 3 topics are really simple. Extreme ownership. Everything within your world you own. So no excuses. It doesn't matter if there's a bad person. There's no such thing as a bad team. They're just bad leaders, right? So it's important to understand you own everything, good and bad. As a leader, take ownership of that. Number 2, decentralized command. Build a system that allows you to have freedom as a leader by allowing ownership of things to other people within your team. So decisions, being able to take action without approval and those sort of things. Build a system that allows for a decentralized sort of management system and decision-making tool, right? The third is really simple. Ensure you always win. To do that, make decisions and take action, right? Some action is better than no action whatsoever. The second, and really in that ensure you always win, is leading up and down the chain of command. Yes, you might be in charge of 30 people, and that's fantastic, but if your leader above you needs help and guidance, it is your job as a leader, as a subordinate, to make sure you can lead upwards in that chain of command as well. Okay? Discipline is freedom. yes, money buys some freedom, but not all of it. Discipline buys the rest. So stay tuned for more content like this and other vital information that will help you as a leader. If you have any suggestions for videos or topics that we should talk about, or something that you've read or you want clarification on, go ahead and comment below and we'll see if we can't make that video.